Okay. Again, my name is Terry Vamvalis. I'm with the Office of Academic Support. The topic tonight is, what do I need to know to be a successful student? Now, you might be a CDL student, or you might be a center student taking some CDL courses. So that's why I kind of addressed Empire State College student, because we have several different center students taking these courses. Okay. So what we're going to address is, I already did the brief introduction. We're going to do a real short exercise, and I'm going to share some student comments with you. And then we're going to take some considerations and benefits. I'm not going to, spend an awful lot of time, but, something I think is important to share. And then I'm going to discuss what it means to be an effective online learner, but also just a learner in general. And then I'm going to give you some skills and some abilities and strategies that are going to be needed. I'm not going to give you them all. And then what services we at the college have to offer to support your efforts, and then we'll take some questions, okay? So, before I begin too, can you, use the green check mark if you're new to Empire State College, if you are starting in the September term? Okay, great. Okay, so good, about half, more than half. Okay, and it looks like a lot. Okay, great. And then I'm assuming the ones that haven't checked, are you in your second term at Empire State College, or are you starting in November? So second term? Okay, so we got two. Anybody starting in November? Okay, so Madeline. Okay, all right, good. All right, and Yvonne. All right, great. All right, thank you for sharing that with me. Gives me kind of an idea. All right, so I just want you to take a couple of minutes here, and then you don't need to raise your hand. Just put the information in the chat area. But list what you think it takes to be an effective learner. Okay, let's start with that first question. What skills do you think you need, and what do you think promotes, success, academic success? Yep, definitely self-discipline, time management, absolutely. Self-starter, organization, discipline, good papers, listening, asking questions. Yep, self-motivated, organized, committed, absolutely. Curiosity, good point. Yep, dedication, enough time for each course. Read materials on a timely basis. Great. All great answers. Yep, want to learn? Absolutely. Now, what do you think distracts from that? Not fall behind. Yes, definitely, Ann. So what do you think definitely distracts that? What actions will surely decrease your success? Home. Isn't that true? Life, yes. Yep. Work, kids, yep. Basically outside commitments, correct. Getting behind, family, procrastination, yes. Distractions. Yep, depression, procrastination, questions if in doubt. So what about not having to be, okay, we're going to address that actually, not having to be physically in a classroom. Okay, which has its benefits but also has its drawbacks as well. Okay, what about your concerns or stresses when it comes to online learning or even coming back to school? If you've been away from, an academic environment for quite some time. Not having enough time you need for the class, okay. Not being face-to-face with instructor and classmate, okay. I'm too old. Never too old, Madeline. Never. Would be able to keep up. Time for each class, having home distractions, yes. What to do first, time, staying motivated, yes. Too long since my last class. Yep, prioritize commitment daily, time. Great. Don't know computers that well. Okay, Melody, we might be able to direct you in an area where we can help you. Where to begin as such as classes begin. Okay, Faye. Not being computer savvy to maneuver through. Okay, getting back into learning. Okay. I want to just make a couple, I want to address, make sure I come back to the computer stuff, okay? All right, great. Thank you. You guys are off to a really great start. Thank you. Well, let me just say that you're definitely not alone. And the reason why I wanted you to go through that exercise is that, especially if you're new to the college, a lot of students feel that, oh my gosh, I'm the only one that's going through this, and not really. And I'm not going to go through all of this, but you know, a lot of the concerns is, how do I contact my instructor? You know, the instructions are confusing. I've been out of school for some time. Where do I start? You know, I'm overwhelmed. You know, different deadlines and assignments for different courses, you know, technical difficulties, where do you find help if, you know, especially if in fact you're not comfortable with the computer. Just go to the next slide too. You know, same thing, you know, I need writing help, you know, I'm building my degree plan. Someone didn't even mention that. You know, this is another area that students struggle with, or are a little confused as to what does that mean, you know, what a mentor is and how the mentor is going to help me. You know, if I can take a course here at CDL, can I take it at a center, and can I find a list of center courses as well? So I guess what I'm saying is that all of these concerns, okay, and even the distractions and all your comments about how to be successful, you know, are normal, okay? They're normal when you come back, if you've been out of school for a while, or you're just new to the online environment. So one of the things that I've gained over the years since I've been here at Empire State College is that I personally think that there needs to be a perception change when it comes to online learning. You know, a lot of students that come here do believe that online learning is easy, okay? But some think it's difficult because you've got the computer aspect of it, and you're not dealing with an instructor face-to-face, and you're not in a classroom interacting with students, okay? And I'm going to address that. But I think we're going to hopefully maybe change or shift a little of how you think about that tonight. Information regarding support, resources, information needs to be accessible and easy to find. I provided a cheat sheet for you at the end. Hopefully that will help with finding some information. I also gained that students you know, you need to be accountable. You know, when you go to college at 18 years old, it's very different than when you come back to the college as an adult, okay? You know, your instructors are not going to track you down. Your mother and father are not going to track you down. They're not going to cut you off, you know, and make you go out and pay for your college. You are already paying for the college right now. So you need to be accountable for your time, and you need to be seeking help. So that's what I gained from a lot of those comments. And the last point I want to make is, you got to keep moving, don't stall or go backwards. If you're stalling, you need to make sure that when you're stalling, you're seeking help. You're stalling for a reason. You might want to actually check with your mentor or the instructor and find out why. Or maybe just sit back and reflect on, okay, what do I do going forward? You know, is this too much? Is there something I can change in my life? Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Judy, I've been trying to check on the chats for the class. I think I'm not probably joining the correct area. I'm sorry, Judy. Are you talking about your courses right now, or are you talking about this area? You want to just you're typing. Okay. I think you're talking about your courses, maybe. Oh, okay. All right, not a problem. Judy, did your courses already open up? Because I know the term starts Monday, and I know right now it's like an icebreaker. We might be able to address that. Okay, one of them did history. Okay, so if one of them did, you know, typically there's like under modules, it's an icebreaker module, I think it's called, and it all, you know, all sections, you know, are a little bit different. All courses are slightly different. So if it says icebreaker, and it, you know, and it says it starts on, you know, day 1 or week 1, which is September 10th, you're most likely in that place. We can talk about that later. Okay, and hopefully get you comfortable where you are. Okay. So I talked about a perception change, okay, and you know, we're going to talk about some considerations, okay, in comparison to traditional college and some of the benefits of online learning, all right. So translation, okay, or translate, I guess I should say, traditional college environment to the online environment really is just a different method of delivering the same material. That's all it is. So just think about it. You have an instructor on the other end. That person's just not in front of you physically. Okay? The online discussions are really mimicking the classroom environment, again, just virtually. So you're not really interacting with a student physically in a classroom, okay? You're just doing it, you know, possibly in an environment like we're doing tonight, or possibly in a discussion area where you're posting and then you're obviously waiting for a response, which, by the way, can be stressful when you post something and you're not sure if anybody's ever going to respond. Or you post something and you're not sure if you really posted something that you should have posted. Okay, so yes, that can be pretty stressful. And by the way, look to the workshop list. I just posted some stuff up there today. I discussed participating in group discussions. Okay. A traditional student, if you think about it, okay, attends a classroom twice a week for one course. All right. Well, if you look at your online courses, they do list your expectations, okay, as far as participation in those discussion areas. You are not expected to participate 7 days a week, you know, hours on end. Typically, your discussion expectations are that you respond to like 2 students and that you actually post, okay, something, and that you respond to any student that responds, or any student that responds to your post. That's it. So look at what, because a lot of people talked about time management. If you're thinking that you need to be online consistently, constantly, then you need to back off, because you definitely do not. If you have the time to do that, great, okay? But look at the expectations, because they are outlined in each course as what is expected. You are graded, by the way, on your participation, all right? And there's reports you can look to say, you know, to look to see how often you responded and how often you posted, okay, to help out with that. The other thing too is, and I don't think we stress this, but typically each course requires 12 to 16 hours a week of dedication. Now, of course, some require less, some require more. It really depends, okay, on your comfortability with the particular topic and subject. You know, you might be a whiz in math, but when it comes to history, it's like, ugh, you know, it's going to take you longer. A lot of reading, a lot of writing. Math is a little bit different. So take that into consideration as well. So if you're taking 4 courses, that is a full load. You might as well expect that that's 40 hours a week, okay, you know, working on your courses. And if you have a job and you have family obligations, you know, something's going to give and you are going to be a little stressed. You might want to reconsider, talk to your mentor and see, you know, can you, if you're getting financial aid, can you modify that load and still reach the goal that you've set for yourself, okay? And again, also look at the driving time. If you were in a traditional college, okay, or if, you know, as an adult taking, you know, studies at, let's say, SUNY Albany or, you know, a community college, you actually go to that classroom. You have to drive to that classroom, and typically you spend 2 to 3 hours, right, in that classroom. So right there, that's 6 hours of your time in a classroom, plus the driving time. So try to equate that kind of to the time that you're spending in the course online, all right? You're actually in some cases gaining some time, believe it or not. Your written assignments and homework, not any different, okay? You get written assignments, you get homework, okay, in a traditional college environment. Nothing's changed there, okay? And as far as stress is concerned, you know, listen, it's part of the experience, you know? I guess what I want to say is that it's how you process it, how you deal with it, and where you place it, all right? Don't let it consume you. If you're finding that the stress is consuming you, you know, talk to somebody here at the college, okay? Try to put it in perspective. Talk to a friend, talk to a spouse to see if you can kind of bring it down. Like I said, put it in perspective in the whole picture, you know, of what you're trying to accomplish, okay? Because the last thing we want is you to drop out completely because you were completely stressed. Just know that you have some support. Okay, well, let's look at some of the benefits, all right? Online environment allows time to think. Now, if you're in a traditional classroom, okay, and the teacher calls on you, you have to kind of answer that question right away, don't you? And so it doesn't really give you time to think. While in an online environment, in the discussion, you can actually look at somebody's post, think about it. Now, of course, you can react to it if you want, especially, you know, if you're in a course where it kind of spurs on emotions and, you know, you have very, very strong opinions about it. But you have time to think about it. You actually have time to research, okay, your thought before sharing, okay, and also observe somebody else's perspective before commenting. That's huge, by the way, huge. So just think about that a little bit. And then, of course, it provides students to work at your own pace and environment. Now, granted, yes, you have timelines. You have to meet those deadlines set. However, how you get to those deadlines is really, truly up to you. All right? I mean, if you've got, I don't know, 2 chapters you've got to read, instead of, if you've got to be at a basketball game, for instance, or a soccer game or lacrosse or whatever, why not, bring that book with you? All right? You can do that at your own pace in the environment that you're comfortable with. And then again, lastly, you are the boss, but, okay, with this role comes accountability and responsibility. Please don't forget that, okay? Just want to make sure, let me look at something, make sure I didn't forget some points that I wanted to make about that. So any questions about this? I mean, again, this is pretty straightforward. I mean, again, I want to stress here, okay, is please don't wait for the instructor to ask where your assignment is. All right? Please don't wait for the instructor to say, hey, you're 4 modules behind. Okay, you need help. It might happen. Some instructors will do that. They will. We do reach out to students that are not interacting, but typically after a while, okay, it is up to you. You set that goal. All right? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about what it really means. Where's my other sheet here? Okay, what it means to be an effective, successful learner. All righty. So obviously the first point is assignments are done on time and are of high quality. All right, and what that means is don't do your assignments the night before because they will definitely show what the quality is. All right, unless of course you can pull it off. Okay, that's great, but typically you need at least a couple drafts before you hand it in. And the second thing is that if you haven't signed up for Smart Thinking, which is an online tutoring service, but also a service that you can submit your papers and receive feedback, and then you can incorporate that feedback into your paper, which is going to make your paper a stronger paper, and a paper that is going to be a little bit more acceptable. That takes a couple days. Like I said, usually a 24-hour turnaround. Anita's putting smartthinking.com up. You can find Smart Thinking under your My ESC. Okay, and actually if you want to show it, that'll be great. Learning support, yep. Under the Learning Support tab, which is green, and I'm just going to wait till she brings this up. Okay, so this is a page you definitely should bookmark, or at least become familiar with if you're not going to bookmark it. But if you see there under Getting Tutoring and Help, the second bullet, Smart Thinking, it's free. You log in initially with your ESC username and password, and then once you get in there, it allows you to choose your own username and your own password. All right, and they cover, like a lot of you mentioned, that you're not computer savvy. Well, they offer tutoring on word processing, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. They also offer tutoring assistance for a wide variety of math subjects, accounting, and now advanced accounting, language, Spanish, not French though, Spanish, some sciences, human biology. So you might want to just check it out just to see what they have. And you can get the online help in a chat form. You can do it in a group setting, and you can also do a half-hour increment of an individual online tutoring session. All right, so I suggest you do that, as well as take advantage of submitting your papers. Again, make sure you give yourself enough time to incorporate, okay, the feedback. Okay, the second point is assistance is sought when is needed. Okay, so here it just basically indicates to us, and research also shows this, that students who seek out assistance are the most successful, okay, compared to obviously students who just sit back and know there's an issue but don't pursue help, okay? If you know there's an issue, you're not doing anything about it because possibly your pride or possibly you just really don't know what kind of help you need, you know, you are going to fail, and we don't want that. You know, worst comes to worst, if you call, we don't know what to do, which is not typical. You know, we're going to probably, direct you in an area that will assist you, all right? So bottom line is message, seek help when you feel you are in trouble. The next point is a little bit different than the one above. It says you take action. Okay, respond appropriately and explore the option that is available in a timely manner. What this means is that, well, let me back up. I'll give you an example. We do fire drills when we're in school. We've done fire drills here. You do fire drills possibly at home. You do fire drills at business. Well, why do you think you do that? Well, you're preparing for a fire, right? You're preparing for some type of an emergency. Well, what I'm saying here is, the term hasn't started yet, okay? But have you been to the library, our online library? Have you been to the Learning Support tab? Have you been to Smart Thinking? Basically, what you want to do is prepare yourself, okay, to know where all of the help is needed, where you can find it, just in case if you need it. Because what's going to happen is if you don't know where to find this, it's going to take some time. And we talked about time management, right? Well, time management, part of that is being prepared, knowing where to find, that emergency door before, the fire actually is at your door and you don't know where the emergency door is, all right? So I think I made my point there. The next point is realistic. Be realistic of what you can and cannot do. Seriously. If you are fully loaded with 4 courses and you have a 40-an-hour job and you have a family commitment, you might really want to rethink that, seriously. Can you do it? You might be able to do it, quite honestly. I know students that have done it, but I also know students that have not done it because it is an awful lot of work. Okay, so if you can scale back, okay, and still meet the goals, okay, and if you are getting financial aid and it still meets the requirements there, then maybe that might be it. Okay, so just something to think about. The other thing too is be realistic about what your skills are. Don't sign up for an advanced course when in fact you might not even meet the prerequisite, okay? And you need an advanced course and you're just taking it. You're going to get frustrated, you're going to fail out of the course, or maybe you might not, okay? But I guess my point is that if you're not sure what skills you're weak in or what skills you're strong in, we do have some assessment tools. Some of our online free, and then we have Pearson My Foundation Lab, which assesses your math skills, your reading skills, and your writing skills. They are available at the bookstore. They're $33 a module. So it is an investment. It is an investment in time as well, by the way, just to let you know. Okay, next point I should say, is view education as part of your life, all right? And so again, I know that, I'm repeating myself, and the only reason why I'm repeating it is because we see this all the time. If you haven't taken into consideration how your courses are going to fit in your life, and you're thinking, I'm just going to do my work at the end of the day or whatever, and you really haven't made the appropriate arrangements to make basically your educational goals part of your life, it is going to be very difficult to manage your time, okay, and to organize things, in that you are going to have those distractions and you are going to have things pulling you away. So you really need to know that it's just part of your life, meaning you're going to live and breathe it just like you live and breathe your family and you live and breathe your work, all right? If in fact, let's say for instance you have I don't know, maybe you're in a, I have a friend who's in a basketball league, all right? He had to give it up for a little bit just while he went through college, and then he picked it up again. You might have to look at some of those things, okay? It's really called balance, all right? So usually something has to give. And I guess the last thing is that, you do reach your final goal, whatever that goal is. It might not necessarily be a degree. It might be that you just wanted to brush up on a couple of some topics, for your job, whatever it is, that you are getting close to your goal, okay? And that means that you were effective and you were successful. So any questions before I move on? Okay, I know Judy's typing. Oh, she has, okay. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which is skills and abilities. Can we go back over here for a moment here, and then just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Okay. Okay, so time management. Now, this is not a time management workshop. I do a time management workshop, okay, which gets into a little bit more detail. But I mentioned that the traditional classroom time versus the online time. Know that you're not expected, again, to be on every day, on every hour. And so you as a person, and I know this is difficult because, you know, especially first-time students, you really feel you need to be there. You know, you really need to look, okay, did somebody respond? I need to respond, you know, to somebody's post or to somebody's post to my post, all right? No. Look at what you, look at your schedule. I don't know if you guys have a calendar. I don't know what kind of calendar everybody uses. I have 3 calendars, which is kind of a joke, okay? But I have 3 calendars of which I synchronize, and that sounds a little obsessive. However, you know, I've got, you know, a calendar that has my workshops on it, and then I have a calendar for my personal life, and then I have a calendar for my meetings and all this type of stuff. My point is, all right, if you have a calendar and you have printed off your schedules, okay, of each of your courses, you then know where the conflicts are. Okay, oh my gosh, my son has swim meets on this day and this day, but I have a paper due on this day. How am I going to do it? You know, well, you look and see what's happening prior. You know, can you actually get that work done earlier? Okay, or can something shift around in order for you to get that done? All right, so my point again here is that see if you can manage your time. I don't know how, I don't care how you do that, but make sure that maybe if you're a visual person or if you use maybe your smartphone to keep track of that, or if you use the computer to do that, have something where you're tracking it. All right, and then you're going to know where the conflicts are so you can shift things around. All right, and again, typical time spent for a 4-credit course is 12 to 16 hours per week. You know, what is a reasonable number of courses to take? Only you know. All right. I don't know why I put that, but we're not going to talk about that. My second point here is, you know, understand your individual learning styles and how different learning styles interact. You, if I'm not mistaken, in your orientation, I think it's Smarter Measure, not Smarter Measure, but there was also the VARC learning. There was an assessment. There was an assessment here. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you copy that and maybe push that out? If you did not take the VARC Learn, I don't know. Oh, that's odd. We're going to try to copy it for you. If not, you know what we can do is we can go to the Learning Support tab and pull that out. This assesses basically your learning style. So if you don't know what your learning style is, you know, if you're a visual, if you're an auditorio, kinetic, I really highly suggest that you do this assessment so at least you have an idea. And the reason being is that you might be in a course that is not a visual course and you aren't a visual person. So what are you going to do in order to get through that course? There are basically some strategies that are given to you. Usually it's under resources possibly. Scroll down. There was one under here.
Yes, I don't remember it being there anymore.
Oh, we might have taken it off. We will get you that link one way or the other before the end of this. Okay. What about the learning search strategies and techniques right there, possibly?
In the library.
All right, get out of there. We'll get you the link. But my point is that knowing your learning style, okay, will make a huge difference in how you actually obtain and learn in the online environment. Again, if you're a visual and the course that you're in is not a visual course and it's very text-based, like for instance some of the history courses, how are you going to get through that course without some visuals, all right? If you're auditory and you don't have videos in there, you know, what are you going to do? Like for instance, one strategy is to read out loud, okay? Walk around, read out loud, you know, make index cards for the visual person, maybe make drawings, okay, in order to absorb the information that is being presented to you. So I guess my point here again is make sure that you know, all right? And then it does discuss too how you interact, okay, with different learning styles. All right, so if you even got a student in your discussion area that is slightly different as far as learning style and how they're dealing with you, you need to understand how you're even going to deal with them. All right? What, you're going to put that out right now?
Well, I put barks.learn.com.
Okay.
I didn't get the rest of it.
Okay.
I think
All
if
right.
you go to the main, though, they can usually
Okay.
find it.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
Do you want to go on this one?
Nope, we're all done with the learning styles. Anybody have a question about the learning style before I just move on? Does everybody know what their learning style is out of curiosity if you just do a green check for yes? I guess my other question is that, okay, so we have a link out there. Is that where the, let's look at this link. There we go. Thank you. I knew it was out there. So learning style self-assessment. Okay, so the link that one of the students just put in the chat area is the place where you would find more information about learning styles. Yes, educational planning resources. Okay, so you will all then be presented with this when you take the Ed Planning course. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dermis, go right ahead. Type in your question. My apologies, by the way, for the learning styles. Typically, it's in lots of different places, and you know, I wasn't quite sure because we place it in many places on our website. I need to go back there. No, not done yet. I've got a couple more points. Should we write these down, or will you be adding them to the packet? I will be adding them, so don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, academic risk-taking. We talked a little bit about this. My point is that don't take courses that are beyond your ability. All right, too many students do that and then find, in fact, that they should have probably not taken that course. And for instance, statistics. Some students jump into statistics where, in fact, they might not necessarily need that particular course, or they might. But maybe history of mathematics or math for inquiring minds or some other math course to meet the gen ed might actually fit the bill. Again, you know, talk to your mentor about that, because obviously each individual's needs are a little bit different, and depending on your degree, you might need those courses, but maybe there's some things you can do to make that experience a little less painful. Okay, if in fact, like say for instance, you know, math is not your strong, you know, your strong skill, which is fine. Persistent, active, and engaged. A lot of you mentioned, you know, engaged and active. You know, don't be reactive, be proactive. That's, you know, I don't know how else to say that. You know, engage other students and engage yourself in the discussions. Make your discussion posts count, by the way. You know, in the classroom, okay, you do pick up things, right? You know, if you're physically in a classroom, you do learn. If, in fact, you're in a discussion area and you're not participating and you're not reading the post and you're not responding to the post, you're not going to learn anything, okay? So I guess the bottom line there is that you're going to learn what you put into it. All right, and so if you meet the expectations, that's great. You know, again, respond to 2 posts, respond to their replies to your posts, and then your posts. That would be great. Okay, but make sure that those posts count. I already mentioned reflective, not reactive. Be open-minded. This is what I mean by that. All right, we are here as a college to make sure that you, as a learner, are leaving this college a better. You know, I guess a knowledgeable student, someone that's going to go out into the workforce, or whatever you're looking to do or plan to do with your degree. Okay, that we've done a great job and you've put forth the effort and you were, you know, did everything that you possibly could to earn that degree. So if your instructor, okay, suggests that you seek some, say for instance, writing help, that it needs some improvement. Try not to get, it's not personal. You know, we're trying to make you better writers, okay? Especially, you know, if you're taking an intro course and the instructor really feels that you need some assistance, you will struggle with the advanced courses, okay? They're much more critical, okay, on the student. So we want to make sure that you have those skills, that you have those basic foundation skills to move on to the next level. So try to be open-minded, okay? If you're not sure what the instructor is asking, okay, just ask the instructor. Say, you know, I'm not really clear. You're saying that, you know, for instance, instance, I get this a lot, that I plagiarized. Well, I didn't plagiarize. Well, sometimes students don't understand what plagiarizing is, or they do understand it and they think they cited the source properly, when in fact they did not, okay? And so try to step back a little bit before you react to, a criticism, say for instance. Not really criticism, it's constructive criticism if you really want to look at it that way. It's really just to make you a better learner. All right? And again, if you're not clear, just ask for clarification. All right? And by the way, it's not a bad thing if the instructor is asking you to seek some help and they connect you to my office, for instance, okay, to get a writing coach. That's a good thing, okay? I mean, I would look at it that if you have that support, take it, all right? The next point, be aware of your personal situation limitations. I'm not going to repeat myself there. I think that's pretty that's pretty obvious. And then obviously use the services and the resources that are available, okay, when needed. If you're not sure a service exists, ask. Yes, the academic coach program would be helpful, okay? Academic coach program, since you brought it up, let's talk about it a little bit. An academic coach is someone who has been at the college a couple terms, that have already gone through what you all have gone through, and can help you with maybe some of the things that, if they struggle with time management, say for instance, what did they do to get through that? What tools did they use? What resources did they use? They might have used some of the resources that the college offered. If in fact, you're struggling with, how to keep track of all the courses, or you're having a hard time with a computer, say for instance, Angel, which is the learning software the learning management software that you use to get into your courses, the academic coach can also help you with that, all right? So the academic coach is not a tutor, by the way. The academic coach is there for support, for guidance. It is not someone who is going to replace your mentor, though. All right? This particular person is not going to tell you what courses to take. That person is not going to tell you what courses to drop either. Okay? That person is probably going to tell you you need to talk to your mentor. All right? So did that answer your question, Judy? Okay, you're typing. Great. Okay. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer that, because that's one of the programs that I oversee. Okay, so from a broader assistance standpoint, Smarter Measure, which I know in orientation students, I believe, take this. This does assess your online readiness, all right? And what that means is that, are you really ready for online? It does go through, areas, and then indicates back to you, okay, well maybe you need to strengthen this area in order to be successful in an online environment. List of services, if you go to this particular link, this will list all the services available college-wide, okay? And just to let you know, just because if you're a CDL student, okay, that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of services at a center. So if you're close to the Saratoga unit, the Latham unit, the Rochester unit, the Metro unit, Long Island unit, it doesn't matter. If in fact assistance is available there, okay, you can use that service. Okay, so for instance, if you need writing assistance and you're a CDL student, you really want somebody face-to-face, I then call, okay, that particular center and see if the writing coach is available, all right? So just know that you do have those services available. Disabilities, you'll find there if you have a disability or if you think you have a disability and you're not quite sure if accommodations can be granted to you, go here and talk to that particular office, okay? And then Angel Help. Again, a lot of you mentioned, yes, all of the college work uses Angel. Now, they might be using other tools, but in general, okay, all of your discussions, all of your assignments will be, okay, posted in Angel and submitted in Angel. And your instructor will be communicating, I would say, for the most part, through Angel, through the course mail, okay? Now, you might have, like, for instance, Spanish. I know they use Illuminate. Okay, and they use some other tools that are outside Angel. Okay, but just know that basically your main software, okay, is Angel. If that makes sense. if you're struggling a little with Angel, I know in orientation there was also an Angel tutorial, all right? If you can't find that tutorial, you can go here, okay? And again, don't write this down. You'll get this slide. Go and look at the tutorial and go through it again if you need to. Now let me also say to you, you're welcome. Let me also say to you, you do not need to know how to use every single feature in Angel, okay? If you get through the first term, this would be my suggestion. Just learn how to post, how to look at the threads, how to look at if someone has responded to your post. Make sure you know how to submit, okay, an assignment as an attachment. What format, by the way. Okay, typically your assignments, they're asking you to submit them in a RTF format, not a Word document format, okay, not a doc format, okay? So learn those things. Don't learn about all the fancy features and everything else. If you, after you get comfortable with it, do that.
One point is you can also look up your grades.
Yes, exactly. So Anita made a good point. You can look up your grades too. That's the other thing that you really should know how to look for. And it's under the report tab, okay? And all you do is choose grades and then you run the report and it will tell you where you stand, okay? Let me see here. Will any of them be using Pearson? Yes. A lot of the math courses use Pearson. Okay, so for instance, Stats uses Pearson. By the way, for anybody that is not aware, Pearson is a have her type it in. Hold on, Laura. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. The Pearson, yes. Well, it's in conjunction with. Yes, it is. For instance, Stats, if I'm not mistaken, and I apologize, I don't know all of the courses, but I believe Stats went to Pearson where it has mini quizzes and uses some of the tools that reinforces the information that's in your textbook, okay? But you're still going to be using Angel to submit, you know, your spreadsheets, to submit anything that you have to write, okay? So really, Pearson is a supplement to the course, again, to reinforce the information that is being presented in the book. Okay, like for instance, I know accounting, and I don't know. I think it's called. It's not Maple. No, Maple is calculus. My math lab is Pearson, which is in Stats. I don't know what accounting uses, but accounting does have a software that they use that is a quiz, and literally you go through those quizzes is what you do, okay? So hopefully that answers your question. I do know when you're in Angel, typically there's a link that brings you out to that portal, but you have to have a access code, and that access code is usually given to you when you buy the book, meaning it's inside the book. So if you bought a used book and you don't have an access code, you need to go get an access code, which means you got to go buy the access code. All right? So I won't kill that anymore. All right, so an RTF, okay, is a text. Basically, it gets rid of all the formatting. That's all it is. So Laura, if you're using Word, okay, and this is my suggestion for everybody today, is if you're writing, you know, you're working on an assignment, don't work on an assignment in Angel. Work an assignment in Word or whatever your word processor is. Use, type in your information in that word processor, and then you have the ability, Laura, to save it as an RTF format, and you will see that. Okay, it will, you know, bring it down in the Dropbox. Okay, of what format you like to save it as. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, good. All right. The next one I think I already addressed is My Foundations Lab. These are just modules that you can purchase. These are not required. It really is as if you really think you need some assistance with any one of these areas. It'll assess your skill, and it will go through, for instance, okay, you're strong in grammar, you're strong here, but you're weak here. By the way, here are some exercises to improve upon that particular skill. All right? And I took the reading, the writing, and the math, and it takes some time, but it was very interesting, you know. Here I thought I was strong in something, and actually I need a little work on it. You know, everybody's rusty. So it's something to review, something to talk about with your mentor, okay? And then this is the cheat sheet I talked about earlier, and again, don't need to write it down. you'll get this PowerPoint. But the Learning Support tab, there's the link, okay, and you will find study skills, information about time management, and workshops, by the way. I think we've got 30 or some odd, not all of them are up there on the site yet, but 35 this term coming up on time management, critical thinking, learning styles, study skills, you know, how to academic writing, PLA, ed planning. So go to the Learning Support tab and look under, matter of fact, why don't we go there and just show them. We're going to show you the workshop area because I think this is important. And did we go to the library? The library's at the end, so we'll go there afterwards.
I'm going to check there all the time, so we're constantly up.
Yeah, constantly check this area. So it's the third box, bottom box, academic support and study skills, and it says study skill workshops, and then you're going to get the workshop calendar. And what it does is it lists all of the centers as well as the Center for Distance Learning. So when you select the Center for Distance Learning, it will give you, like for instance, you know, the next one is Where Does Time Go? That's a time management one, and I offer it from 2 to 3 as well as 6 to 7. I don't know why it's not showing. And then of course, the 920 is for students that are new. If you wanted to, you know, to come to this, I usually just kind of address to make sure that, you know, any students that are coming in November, or maybe you were a late enrollment for September, make sure that you're prepared for the September term, definitely for the November term. And then of course we have how to participate in group discussions. But point is to check this on a regular basis. Now go back a little bit here. The other thing too is if you look at some of the centers, if you are close to a center and you can attend one of those workshops, by the way, you can. And the Northeast Center offers online and on-site. All right. So all you do is just go to their particular page, and if you see something that you're interested in, you think you can attend it, then go right ahead. Register. You do not have to be a Centra student. You are an Empire State College student, okay, is my point. Okay. The second bullet is the tutor program. I oversee the tutor program, so if you find yourself, you know, a couple weeks into the term and you think you're struggling, you might need some assistance. I have students who are peers who have taken those courses. I can't always guarantee I have a tutor. There might be some courses that I don't have tutors and I have to go seek one, but I will then marry you guys up and you put a schedule together and you work online. So you can work in Illuminate, you can work on the phone, you can work in chat, whatever communication method you guys agree to use. This is free, okay? So just know that that is available, and that website is where you go and find the forms and request one. Smart Thinking we already talked about. Writing coach, if you think you need a writing coach, I first would try Smart Thinking first, okay, and use the submission of your papers first. But if you find that your instructor is suggesting that you get a coach, typically the instructor is probably going to call us, but there's the email address for my office if you feel that you really need some writing development, if you really need some assistance on one-on-one. And we do it through Google Docs. The writing coach does it through Google Docs. So she uses a live, basically you have a document out there that's live, and she watches the changes that you make, and she gives you immediate feedback on those changes. If in fact you want face-to-face, again, if you're close to a center, I can see if I can arrange that. The academic coach program, again, it's also typically it's a peer, it's a student that has been here a couple terms, that is in good academic standing, and that wants to help other students. I also am in a coaching role, so I take on certain students, and we also have some other individuals here at the college that take on students as well. Depends on the situation and the uniqueness of the student situation. Now the library, I want to go to the library because I think this is important that we all know about the online library. Online library also offers, go right ahead, type in your question. The online library will provide you some information on how to cite your sources properly. There are library workshops that I think we can go there that I've already posted that again are free. They are usually 6:30 to 8 o'clock at night. And let's see, where are we? September 5th was already passed. Okay, so September 11th, they have using RefWorks, which is, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is citing your sources. But Introduction to Searching, okay, on September 12th, okay, and Better Sources, Better Papers. So I would check the fall workshop, it's citing your sources exactly. I would check the workshop list for the library. Especially if you're new to an online library environment, you might want to attend. When is that one there again? September 12th. It's a Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9. They're free. You just register. The link is already there. You go into an Illuminate link like you are in tonight. These workshops are excellent. I can't say enough about these workshops. Okay. Yep. The other thing too is, like, we're online right now and there is live chat available. So you go into your local library. Who's usually at the desk? A librarian. Well, guess what? We have a librarian as well, but she's just available, you know, via a chat line. So it will tell you if she's available. If not, it will give you the schedule, and they're pretty much available. They've got a nice schedule. And they will tell you, scroll down, did they give the hours of the library? I think they are, go back up again. I think Saturday they're not open. I know they're open Sunday. They're open 6 days a week, the library, by the way. Okay? So I would get yourself familiar with this particular site. You can definitely find a lot of information, especially when you start you know, developing your assignments. You are going to need to come to this library and find reliable sources here. You can go to the website, obviously the internet, but just know that you probably are going to be, directed to this page. And then, of course, contact information. All right, my office. There's the email address. There's the 800 number. The 2300 number, it just goes to the call center, and then they direct it depending on what your need is. And of course, if you have a different need, it's not necessarily a tutoring or a writing. Let's say, for instance, you have a question about an instructor, or a question about accommodation, or a question about dropping a class. You want to go to cdlstudent@empirestatecollege.edu, or again, you can call the call center, okay, and they will direct you to student services. And of course, there's my contact information. I am available. There's my email as well as my extension. And then the last one I want to address, and a lot of students are not aware of this, but this is another resource. Yeah, if you could. We're going to push it out to you because I think this is an important page as well. Khan Academy, if you're not aware, started off really small. I won't get into all of it, but Bill Gates is now kind of supporting this. I don't know, just go there. That's interesting. That's a new one. They must have updated it. No big deal. All right, we're not going to be able to do this, unfortunately.
Let me just see if I can go back. Yeah. Disable compatible. All right. Main computer.
It's our main computer. Never mind. Okay, well, it's kind of showing that. Why don't you push it out? Here, push out the link right there. And then just get out. So we just pushed out the link. If you want to go to this particular web site, you're going to find that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of short videos, 2 to 3 minutes. They're not fancy. But for instance, statistics, I can't remember the last, I think there was like 50 videos, or actually even more, but address different concepts of stats, okay, from intro level to advanced level. And if you're struggling, for instance, with standard deviation is one thing that just comes to mind. There is a video on standard deviation, and we'll go through the formulas, and we'll really, walk you through the steps, okay? Human biology, there's a lot of sciences. There's corporate finance, there's accounting. I guess my point is, check that out. That's another resource, okay, that you can pull in if you're seeking some additional assistance, okay? So I think that's it. Man, I took up the whole hour, but not a lot of questions, guys. I don't know if there's any questions, or did I answer all your questions?
I asked them to raise their hand.
So,
Smart group.
smart group, exactly. Smart group. See, I expect all of you to do great the first term, huh? You're welcome, Heidi. You're welcome. Thank you. So, Jeff, you live in Virginia? Okay. So, yeah, you're not close to a center. Okay, Kelly, thank you very much. Nope, you can't get to a center. Okay. Which is okay, because there's a lot of resources. You're welcome, Jeff. There's a lot of resources, Jeff, so if you need them, call us, okay? You're welcome, Damaris. Oh, you're welcome, Ann. Thank you very much. And by the way, before you all go, you will get a link that goes to a survey. It takes you about 5 minutes or less. You know, any feedback that you can give, if you thought this presentation was horrible and that really it didn't address any of your expectations, or it was great, or you would like to see something slightly different, you know, please, seriously, just be honest and put that information in. I want to make sure that these workshops or these webinars count. Let's see here. Oops, hold on a second here. Universities or colleges. The only colleges are the SUNY colleges, Jeff. I don't believe we have, there's some community colleges that I know we, well, let me ask you this before I say anything. Are you talking about taking courses at another college and that we just transfer them automatically? I just want to make sure I understand your question. And I know everybody has questions too, so hold on. You're welcome, Charmaine. Yeah, raise your hand, guys, okay? You're welcome, Charmaine. Okay. All right, Gray, you're welcome. You should be able to use the library, I believe, right? As long as you have a library card. It has a, if you've got a student, okay, this is, I'm sorry, this is not an area I know about. I know you can get an ID card, and I believe you have to call the call center. Okay, you can get an ID card. I believe you have to send in a photo, okay, and then we send you an ID card. You should be able to use that library card, okay, at the W&M library, you know, because you are a student and you're going to college. I know here we can go to Skidmore College, we can go to any of the SUNY systems. So I would check, Jeff, okay, with the call center and see if you can get that done, okay?
Here's Ian's question.
Any thoughts on designing your degree plan? It depends on what your thoughts are, meaning what your question is, because I have lots of thoughts about degree planning.
Plus we also have workshops coming up on degree planning, how to write your essay.
Right. We do have workshops about you know, how to write a rationale and what PLAs are and how they impact your degree plan, and then of course degree planning in general. Okay, Jeff. You're welcome, Judy. Thank you. You're welcome, Jeff.
Okay, thanks, Jed.
You're welcome, Sharon. Yeah, Ian, if you have specific questions regarding degree plan, let me know. I guess my thought to you, or my thought in general, oh, there you go, Joanna. Okay. She just indicated who you send your JPEG file to for your ID card. I guess, Ian, is that degree planning doesn't have to be difficult, and I guess the degree plan course that you do take, that you enroll in, does prepare you in developing the degree plan. I mean, the bottom line is that you're choosing your degree and you're choosing the courses that are going to support the degree. And instead of going to you know, let's say, for instance, traditional college where I want that degree, it tells you what courses to take. You know, we're giving you a little bit more flexibility, okay, to choose some of the courses to make your own degree as long as it meets certain requirements. So hopefully that helps.
Yes, no, I'm going to ask her, what does she mean, register for webinar? What webinar?
Okay.
If you can just ask her.
Oh, may I still receive presentation info if I'm unable? Yes, okay. If you are not, well, you got to register first, okay, so we know at least that you are looking for the presentation, okay?
She said, when I'm at work, I can't install the
That's fine. Okay, so if you let us know that you're unable to attend the presentation, we put you on a list, and then we will send you the recorded link along with the PowerPoint presentation, okay? If you don't register, we're not going to know, okay? So that'll be great. You're welcome. What students need to know? You're welcome, Faye. Was there any other questions?
No,
You got that one? Okay. All right. You're welcome. Now, some of you mentioned that you're new to Empire State College, and this is your first term. Any questions about, go right ahead, Jeff. Any questions in general about the first term? I mean, hopefully you guys all have your books. If you don't have your books, you better get your books. Some of the courses already opened. I suggest that if you haven't gotten your courses, get in your courses. Can you download a PDF of the modules for any courses? No. Sorry. Yeah, I wish you could, but no, unfortunately you cannot. And that's got a lot to do with copyright and mainly copyright. You can, a lot of those modules, by the way, you can print, or you can just copy and paste and put them in Word doc. That's what most students do. Well, Damaris, you can. Usually the first module, okay, opens up on Monday, okay, but they open up a week earlier, allowing students to kind of get acclimated to the environment and just to kind of feel themselves, you know, feel around. So if you want to post the first module, then go right ahead if you're prepared to, but don't jump, okay? Like for instance, I'm a grad student, so my course just opened up, okay? And a student already posted, which was pretty quick. I'm not ready to post yet, quite honestly, okay? There's a lot of information and I am not ready. There's a lot. I'm trying to still migrate and navigate myself through. So if you're not ready to post yet, don't. Just make sure that you know what the deadline is to post, okay? And just prepare yourself to post. What if you cannot obtain a book in time? Will that dismiss you? No. It won't dismiss you, say, from the course. However, okay, it's going to delay you in finishing your work. So what, you know, the first module, you know, sometimes they're a week long, sometimes they're 2 weeks long, sometimes they're 3 weeks long. If they're already referring to a textbook and they want you to read, you know, that, you know, a couple chapters in that first module, it's going to put you behind. So I would do your best if you can to possibly get a book immediately, okay? And if you can't get the book for whatever reason, let your instructor know, please. You're welcome, Faye. Do assignments have specific
dates?
Okay, dates. Is it by the end of the week deadline? It depends. You know, I can't give you specific. For instance, okay, there's some courses where the deadlines are on a Sunday, okay, and they'll tell you, you know, week 2, this date, you know, your postings need to be done, but on this date, you know, your assignment needs to be submitted. I'm in a course, in a grad course, of course, slightly different, but we have these reflections that are due on a Friday, but yet my assignment is due on a Sunday. So I really, again, I'm going to strongly suggest that you get in there and print off the schedule. They will tell you, okay, specific dates when things are done. Okay, hopefully that helps. If a module states week 1 and 2, are we to assume that it's due before the end of week 2? Typically the way I read that, and again, you know, I would need to know what course that is, but if they say it's due at the end of 2 weeks and they've given you the date range, you know, for instance, September 10th is the beginning of it, they usually give you the date. And what that means is that, you know, let's say something is due today, you have until 11:59 p.m. to submit it. 11:59 p.m. to submit it. And I'm serious. If you submit it at midnight or a couple minutes past midnight, it is considered late. So make sure that you're aware of that, okay? Now, I do know that we have some questions about time zones. Ask your professor about that, okay? I'm not going to answer that one, okay? So if you live in a different time zone and, you know, it's midnight here, but it's 9 o'clock your time, okay, just make sure that the professor says, yes, I'm aware you live in California, say, for instance, so obviously you have 3 hours until, you know, 11:59. Well, less than 3 hours, 1 minute. Okay, say, is there a specific time on Monday that we need to start each course? Well, say, midnight, okay, stroke of Sunday night, Monday started. So you can start that time or you can start at any time on Monday, whatever your schedule allows. There is no specific time, absolutely not. You're welcome, Damaris. Danny? Okay, good. So we're 12 minutes past 7. I can answer a couple more questions, or if you like, you'll have my email. You can send me an email or call the call center. And also your mentor too, by the way, is a great resource. So make sure that you do frequently communicate with your mentor. Don't leave the mentor out of the loop, okay? This also answered my question with the posting for the class. I think I entered it too soon. I will check it next week. Thanks. You can never enter the class too soon. If it opened, Judy, okay, then it's open, meaning it's open for you to review and everything else, but things don't officially start until Monday, okay? Thanks. Was having some technical issues with laptop and froze. First class is planning your degree plan. Thanks. Oh, good, Ian. That's a good course to start with. You're welcome, Judy. You're welcome, Wendy. Okay. So if there's no other questions, I can end it, or I can stay here one more minute. How about that? I'll stay here one more minute and then look forward to my new adventure. Thanks again. You're welcome, Faye. Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording.